I recognize a member from Ramsey, Representative Moller.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, it has been an honor and a privilege to serve my community in this body with you. Thanks to my constituents for putting your trust in me to represent you, and to the volunteers who helped me get here 4 times. To my family and friends for their love, sacrifice, and support, especially over some very difficult moments. A special shout out to my son who's here today, and my dad who has watched every single committee hearing and floor session, and sometimes he pays more attention to the floor sessions than I do and asks me questions afterward that I cannot answer. Thank you also to all who have mentored me and taught me about your diverse and vibrant communities across this state. Thank you also to Melissa Hortman for her mentorship and leadership. And some of us wear these buttons that are orange buttons from LiUNA that say simply the best. And I don't know if everybody knows this story, but she was given an award and they played that as her walk-up song, and she thought that was a bit much. And yesterday when I got in the car to come here for the last day of session, my Spotify was on a random mix and that song came on. So I know that she has been here with us. Working together to craft policies to benefit Minnesotans has been more rewarding than I could have ever imagined. I've worked with so many of you across the aisle, especially on gender-based violence issues, and really enjoyed working with Chair Novotny, who had much patience with me as well. Also, shout out to my Majority Makers class. We can't let the Corona class have all the fun today. And of course, this work could never have happened without our incredible staff, both partisan and nonpartisan. You are true public servants who give so much to this important work. The first time I visited this Capitol building, I was a law student and a girl from Indiana who had decided to move to Minnesota with my fiance, Kevin, who's also from Minnesota. I had the feeling that I would work in this building. Running for office was not a goal, so I don't know why I felt that way, and I didn't even know what I really wanted to do after law school. But I was filled with the excitement of planting roots in this beautiful state and being open to the possibilities ahead. Minnesota, you have exceeded my expectations and given me more than I could have ever imagined. Minnesota's beauty was the first thing that hooked me, but Minnesota's people are the reason why I never want to move, and the reason that I have been so proud to serve in this legislature. Minnesotans are hardy, hardworking, and kind, even if sometimes a little passive-aggressive. And my son just told me the other day that a comment I made was passive-aggressive, so I guess I fit right in now. The Minnesotans I most admire welcome immigrants, respect our tribal nations, embrace people as they are, fight for equity and justice, and care for their communities. We saw the best of Minnesotans over the last year, even though there were so many horrible things. After the events of June 14th, we were comforted by Minnesotans who reached out to us, who attended the vigil for Mark and Melissa, and who paid their respects to them and Gilbert in the rotunda. We saw the best from the Annunciation families, who experienced unimaginable tragedy, yet showed up here with hope and courage, even though this body ultimately let them down. And then there were the thousands of Minnesotans who helped their neighbors during an attack by the federal government. These Minnesotans stood up for constitutional rights and for each other. Whether you are retiring or not, I implore you to find the courage that these Minnesotans displayed. Our nation is sliding away from the very democracy that we are celebrating on this 250th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. History will not be kind to those of us who almost had courage. And I've actually seen that courage in many of you as you protected your communities during the recent occupation, and some on both sides of the aisle who spoke out against the racial profiling that happened. Members on both sides of the aisle also spoke out about the harm that Minnesotans would experience from H.R. 1 before it passed in Congress. And courage was on display when the vast majority of this body in 2021 passed a resolution that condemned the January 6th insurrection and affirmed this body's support for democracy, rule of law, and free and fair elections. Members, more of that, please. Let's continue to muster that courage in the months and years ahead. In the story of the emperor's new clothes, every person in that crowd could see that the emperor wasn't wearing any clothes. They were afraid to be the one to tell him. Then a child said the plain truth out loud. Members, we are that crowd. Will we be the brave one to say the plain truth out loud? As this chapter of my life comes to an end, I'm filled with the gratitude by what this state has given me. When I exit this chamber, I will have the same excitement and hope that I had as that young woman who first walked into this building, not knowing what was next. But whatever that is, I will be rooting for all of us to find that courage to be that child in the crowd who says the truth out loud. And finally, as I wear my Claddagh ring, I will be reminded of you and this place. The Claddagh is an Irish symbol. It has a heart with hands holding it and a crown on top. It's the symbol of friendship, love, and loyalty. I will think about the many friendships that I've made here. I will think about my love of this institution. And I will think about the loyalty that we have to our state and federal constitutions. And with that, Mr. Speaker, members, Minnesota, thank you.